Welcome to the Stateless Standard, your unflinching beacon in the fight of the people against the predatory state. Today, we pull back the curtain on one of the darkest alliances in modern history, the CIA, NSA, and Alphabet Inc., better known as Google. What if the search engine you use every day wasn't born from pure entrepreneurial genius, but from the cold calculations of the surveillance state? Ladies and gentlemen, the truth is far more cynical than the official fairy tale. In today's video, we'll expose how Google's origins are drenched in intelligence agency funding, how the company has lied about it for decades, and why this revolving door of spooks and tech tyrants should terrify anyone who values privacy and liberty. Now let's dive into the shadows. It all starts in the early 1990s, when the U.S. intelligence community, those unelected overlords in the CIA and NSA, saw the internet blooming and panicked. They weren't about to let this new digital frontier escape their grasp. No, they launched a brazen initiative to shape it from the cradle. Working hand in glove with Silicon Valley universities and firms, these agencies poured millions into research aimed at tracking every click, every query, every digital footprint of individuals and groups online. This wasn't about innovation for the people. It was about building the foundations of global mass surveillance, all while pretending to foster progress. Enter Massive Digital Data Systems, or MDDS, a classified program kicked off in 1993. The intelligence community, hiding behind the National Science Foundation, doled out grants worth millions to top universities like Stanford, Harvard, MIT, and Caltech. The goal? Develop tools to manage massive databases, identify patterns in online behavior, rank queries, and predict digital trails. Sound familiar? That's because this architecture was designed to spot digital fingerprints, unique signatures of users, and link them across the web. If successful, these academic prototypes would be handed off to private companies for scaling. And scale they did. Many of today's tech giants got their first big break courtesy of your tax dollars funneled through the surveillance state. One of those grants landed at Stanford, where a team was tinkering with something called query flocks, a fancy term inspired by birds flocking together. The agencies figured humans online would cluster the same way, making it easy to track groups and isolate anyone who didn't conform. On that team, two graduate students, Sergey Brin and Larry Page. Their work on web page ranking, query optimization, and mining vast datasets, funded partly by earlier NSF and DARPA grants, was already catching the spooks' eyes. But the MDDS grant took it further. Brin regularly reported progress directly to intelligence operatives, Dr. Rick Steinheiser from the CIA's Research and Development Arm, and Dr. Bhavani Thurasingham, a contractor for MITRE Corp handling R&D for the NSA, CIA, and military branches. Thurasingham herself later admitted Brin was partly funded by this program. She recalled visits to Stanford where Brin would rollerblade in, demo his search engine prototype, the future Google, and rush out. By September 1998, he was showing off what would soon become the world's dominant search tool. Coincidence? Hardly. The core technology that made Google revolutionary, pulling precise info from chaotic data, was exactly what the CIA and NSA ordered. Now, here's where the cynicism kicks in. For years, Google has vehemently denied any ties to the intelligence community. Back in 2006, when reports surfaced of long-standing relationships and funding, a spokesperson flat out called it completely untrue. Google's official history? It mentions NSF and DARPA grants, but conveniently omits MDDS entirely. Stanford's own archives? Same selective amnesia, crediting only the Digital Library Project funded by NSF, DARPA, NASA. Even Brin and Page's famous paper, The Anatomy of a Large-Scale Hypertextual Web Search Engine, skips any mention of intelligence money. If not for whistleblowers like Thurasingham and scattered academic papers, we'd have almost no record. One 1998 paper co-authored by Brin quietly notes he was partially supported by the community management staff's massive digital data systems program. Another report from Professor Jeffrey Ullman in 2000 boasts Google as a direct outgrowth of the grant's research, alongside other startups snapped up by Amazon. But the powerful don't like daylight. This history has been suppressed, scrubbed, and lied about for 25 years by Google, its founders, and the agencies themselves. Why? Plausible deniability. They needed a private company to do the spying at arm's length, free from pesky oversight. Fast forward to the war on terror, a trillion-dollar bonanza not just for defense contractors, but for big tech parasites feeding off the empire's wars. Google raked in billions from Pentagon contracts, including Project Maven, using AI to make drone strikes more efficient, code for deadlier. By some estimates, 77% of Google's government contracts since inception tied directly to the forever wars. That blood money transformed a garage startup into a global behemoth. And those overseas surveillance tools? They've boomeranged home, now monitoring the stateless people, the everyday citizens, who never signed up for this. Then there's the nauseating revolving door between Google and the deep state. Take Jared Cohen, a State Department operative who founded Google's Jigsaw unit in 2010, supposedly to counter threats to open societies. Early projects? Tools to de-radicalize potential terrorists by bombarding search results with ads. But Cohen's track record reeks of regime change ops. In 2009, he urged Twitter to stay online during Iran's protests to aid demonstrators. In 2012, he emailed Hillary Clinton about a tool tracking Syrian defections to boost the CIA-backed revolution. Leaked emails even show Google freaking out over Cohen's plans to meddle in Gaza, calling him a loose cannon on a mission of regime change. Even Google's handlers have limits, apparently. This isn't conspiracy theory. It's documented history from their own words and records. The CIA and NSA didn't just fund Google, they midwifed it, shaped its DNA for surveillance, and reaped the rewards. Today, Alphabet tracks your every move, censors dissent under safety pretexts, and partners with the state to silence the people. In a truly free society, an anarcho-capitalist one built on voluntary exchange, no coercive agency would cede monopolies like this. Privacy would be a market good, not a privilege revoked by the elite. The lesson? Trust no giant born in the shadows of the state. The powerful always weaponize innovation against the people. From Austrian economics, we know central planning breeds monsters. Libertarian class analysis shows the ruling class, spooks, bureaucrats, cronies, exploiting us through these tools. If this exposes the rot for you, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more revelations dismantling the Stits machine. Drop a comment. How has Google or big tech invaded your privacy lately? We read everyone. Thanks for watching the Stateless Standard. Keep the torch burning. Question everything the powerful tell you. Until next time.